Okay, we're back. Well, actually, we're starting again for the first time. December 12th warm up. I need 3 rows. So insert, and then I believe I can control Y to do the same operation again. I believe I am going to need a new column, at least one column. So click column A header and choose insert. I believe I need these to be numbered. So that's hole 1. And I'm going to try and I got to put in a pattern, don't I? 2. Then I'll go 1, 2, all the way to 9. Actually, I can go all the way to 18. Double click that to open it up. I think I need a column to the left of the 10th hole, and that's going to be called out. And I need a column to the right of 18 is in. And I believe that has to say total. And I believe that has to say relative to par. And I want this to be merged. And so in here, I'm going to write Port Colborne Country Club Scorecard Tracker. I'm going to take that cell and I'm going to span it over that space. So home, merge and center. And it looks like maybe I changed the size of the font. And I might have filled in the color. And I might have changed the font color. Okay, something like that. Here it says hole. Here it says par. Here it said round 1. Scroll, fill down. There we go. I think this column was all bold and centered. And I think from here down, okay, now I need pars. So I think I have to, do I have to hard put these in? And then I have to go 3, 5, 3, 5, 4, 4, 5, 3, 4. And I'm going to expand this out. Okay, so that should be the sum. So I'm just going to auto sum actually. Auto sum. That's good. And that's going to be another auto sum. That's good. And then that's going to be that cell plus that cell. And then I think I can fill down. And I think I should be able to fill down for both of those. And then relative to par, am I missing something? No. So here, I'm going to take my score and I'm going to subtract what I should have scored. But I want V3, I need the 3 to stay constant, so I need to put a $sign there. So I'm 2 over, and then drag it down, and I get my score relative to par. And I think in here I just did something like this. Oh, that should be a plus. And I think that was all centered. I think these were red. I think that was not red. That was red. And I think these were all red, so Control Y redoes that. I think these might have been bolded. Control B. Should have been able to use. Colored green. I think this was colored green. I think these were supposed to all be centered. It's not the case. Oh, maybe I just undid that. Should be all centered. And now I'm going to oh, I made a mistake there, didn't I? Merge center back. That should only be over. There we go. Merge center there. That here, I'm just going to put in no fill. Okay. All right, let me pause. So we're back. I am going to apply a border, but I'll wait for that border. But I'm going to move this just to remind you, I can select all of that. Because I want that top border and that far left border to appear, I'm going to actually move that down here. And I should be able to, yeah, we're good. Okay, so eventually, I think we're going to put a border, a thick border around this. Okay, so now we're in the bottom here. We need low, we need average. Look at that, copied over some formatting for me. Okay, over par on average. Okay, so this is the wrap text. So basically, if you don't have wrap text on, basically what happens is if there's nothing to the right of the cell, it'll allow it to bleed over to the cell or kind of overfill to the right. But if it's not, then it'll cut it. And that's when you would resize the width of the cell so you can see everything. So in that situation, the height of the cell, normally the height of the cell is fixed and the width of the cell is what you have to expand. But wrap text is the opposite, which means the width is fixed and it gets to the edge and then just wraps around and it makes the cell, the height of the cell larger. So if I click on that cell and choose, where's wrap text? It usually says wrap text on here. Wrap text. Now that will say the words wrap text if you're on a screen and it's wider. But right now it's, there you go. So it kept the width and it increased the height to allow for additional lines. Okay, so I'm going to do the min. So I'm going to use this feature here. I want the min, and it actually went up too far because it goes until it sees something that's not a number. So I'm just actually going to highlight that. And then I want average. And again, it picks the low number, which I don't want that in the average, but I'm going to go from here. And I'm going to go all the way up to round 1. Enter. And then I'm going to go max. And look how it picked these two numbers. I don't want that. So I basically want to go from there all the way up to 1. Okay, and I'm going to take those 3. I think they should be red. I think they should be centered. And I'm going to just, I guess, do that. Now, over par on average is an if statement. So I'm going to type in if left, and I'm going to hit this box to remind. So what's my logical test? So I want to see if this is greater than the par. Because if on average I shot 6.2 and the par is 5, on average I shot more than I should have. So in this case, the average currently is, for this first hole, is I averaged a 4, which is unrealistic from my scoring point of view. And the par is 5, so on average I played it 1 shot less than I should have. So if that condition was true, then did I play it on average over par? No, I didn't. However, if that condition is false, that means did I play it over par on average? Yes. Now, some of you might be thinking, what happens if you did this? Then, right, now that's checking to see if, was my average score less than the par? If that is true, then I did not play it over par, right? But if it's false, and so on. So the bottom line is if this confuses you, you just need to look to see, hey, what should it say? Did I play it over par? Well, my average score was 4, And the par is 5. So did I play it over par on average? No, I didn't. I actually played it under par. So it should say no. And that's what I have. And if I now fill that over, I can do that, but I don't want this in there for there. And I think these should be in red and centered. The last thing I think we have to do is if I take that box, I have to put a thick border around it because I think that was a border also. And I think for the most part, we're done. So I'm going to pause and take any questions. Okay, it was brought to my attention that these two values, these decimal calculations, should be 1 decimal. So I'm going to fix that up. And then I want to center these, but this time I want to center these vertically, not horizontally. So how do I do that? Well, up here, we're used to going left, center, right, but this is top, middle, bottom. So that's aligning to the bottom, or to the middle. So you get centered horizontally, you get also centered vertically in that situation. So let me pause and take any other questions.